Today I'm going to talk about how the regular season standings in the Major League Baseball is extremely misleading. Um, so are we punishing or rewarding division winners? A lot of people say, oh, if they have the first round bye, they're going to be rusty. Well, on the other side, if you have that first round bye, you only have to start playing in the NL or ALDS. So you only have to win the NLDS, the CS, and the World Series. So that's quite a factor and a motivation factor, I would say. Also, you have to also keep in mind that in baseball, the NL in ALDS is a best of five, and then it's only the NL or ALCS in the World Series that's best of seven, unlike in a lot of major other sports where it's best of seven from the first round. Um, and then also there's the 2-3-2 format in after the wild card and after the first round, because the first round is best of five. So the 2-3-2 opposed to the 2-2-1-1-1. So two home, three road, two switch. And then you also have to like remember that in the postseason, there's the 26-man postseason roster, which any pitcher, you can add anyone, an additional player, but if you're going to swap someone from injury or anything, you have a pitcher can only swap out a pitcher, and a position player can only swap out a position player. And also in Major League Baseball, you're starting to see it in hockey too, but in basketball, it's definitely they got rid of the divisions, not entirely. They still matter for like tiebreakers and other things, but they're no relevance for you don't have to win your division to make the playoffs, or like basically everyone's a wild card in the NBA. But in baseball, you have to win your division, or you will not get a first round bye. It's doesn't matter if you win 112 games and your rival wins 113. You will be a wild card team, no ifs or buts about it. I mean, that's the one thing, the drawback is you've seen a lot of these teams who've been really, really good, like 100 plus win teams, and they, in the old format, they either lost in the one game wild card, or um, they got put in a position where they are not really going to be successful because they have to be the road team or not having advantage. And then also another thing I want to bring up is with the rule changes of the pitch clock, and then also um, the the DH for the NL. So now that's really a big different strategy. You have a whole another bat you can use instead. And then also this is something that doesn't get talked about as much, but I think it's really big. Is the it's more of a balanced schedule. So instead of there being an interleague play in like June, July, and you play a entire division in, like, let's say you're the Yankees and you play the NL West, you play everyone in the NL West at one point, but now everyone plays each other. So that's another thing. And then also, it used to be you played everyone in your division 19 times. Now you only play them 13 times. That's quite significant. And if you're in a division that, let's say, is really competitive, um, it's going to be a lot more tougher. But if there's only one or two teams and there's multiple 100 loss teams back to back years or in the same year, then you're going to be stacking wins, and when it comes to playoffs, you have to be playing your best. You're not facing the best pitching all year. You're not facing the best competition all year. I mean, don't get me wrong, you don't win 100 plus games by accident, but to decide to really understand who's the best teams, it's not surprising when 100 win teams get bounced. Um, because if you actually look at their stats and how they do against competition throughout the year, like that's a more accurate assessment of um, teams. And yeah, like people are saying, oh, like the wild card, they're trying to make it so like, oh, anyone can make it. But the thing is, it's anyone can really do that at any point. And with so much change in the balance of schedules and um, with all the traveling and oh yeah, another thing is like unusual start times. Like MLB, you'll have like a 1 p.m. noon game or a 1 p.m. afternoon game, and you only had like a handful of those all year. Or um, yeah, and then also like the requirement of rest days or like 2 3 day gaps. Um, like yeah, so like and then the broadcasters like it's just a whole different game in the postseason. It's not a good or bad thing. I'm just saying the reason why like some teams struggle is not because oh the league is trying to make someone else out of it. Um, but if anything, I think they added too many teams from 5 to 6. They keep adding it, but um, like yeah, but that's just my 2 cents on that. But um, oh, and another thing I wanted to add just to end is sometimes seeds 1 through 6, you could literally be a 1 seed or a 2 seed or a wild card team or completely miss the entire season playoffs if over a game or two. It's that close. So like there's been so many log jams and shuffling that you could literally be up and down, and you can't really say, oh, this team's so much better than the other. We look at that seeding number, um, and we don't reseed in the playoffs like the NFL does. But you have to see, like, oh, if you won 1 game or 2 games, you'd be the 1 seed. It doesn't mean your team is that much more better or that much more prepared. Um, I mean, some you just get a good draw because you earn that spot, but it doesn't mean you're not vulnerable or in any danger of dropping a series. And you have to understand a series is different than a single game or a single series during the season. So that being said, everyone really, uh, you know, everyone just plays at a higher rate and um, but yeah, that's just my take on it. But let me know what you think in the comments. Please subscribe if you have not already, and I'm gonna just continue pushing out content for you guys. Please like, share. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, and have a good weekend. Thank you. Bye bye.